Oh, how touching. That was so beautiful. Hi everyone. Welcome and welcome back to our video village, our returning viewers. I'm really stoked to take a look at a new video by Alien Weaponry that they dropped a couple of weeks ago now. They happen to be one of my favorite bands and I heard it's a good one. All of the Alien Weaponry videos that I've seen so far have been just absolutely amazing, and I'm sure that this one's going to be no different. And what I love about Alien Weaponry so much is that they really put a lot of their Maori heritage into the videos and really try to educate people on it and some of the issues that Maori people face to this day. So as I understand it, this video is about stolen heritage, and I'm really stoked to go take a look. And as always, the music's really banging too, I'm sure. I've seen Alien Weaponry live. They were opening for Gojira in 2022, and they absolutely blew me away. It's just the three of them, and they're so good. Anyway, in case you're new here, my name is Manon the Reeper. I'm a filmmaker. I am a writer and director. And on this channel, I look at music videos and specifically the visual aspects of them and kind of show you how they're made and why they work so well, essentially. On my Patreon, you can find some of my own works as well as short stories. That I just dropped my first short story recently. I'm writing short stories and releasing them every month this year. They're sort of in the horror, sci-fi, fantasy genres because that's what I love most. So you can find those there. I'm also a lifelong metalhead in case that wasn't clear. So let's take a look at Alien Weaponry's new video for Moko. Wow. Wow. All right, let's pause there and kind of go through what we're seeing. I expected that they were going to show us something spectacular, probably historical, because they've done that in previous videos of theirs. But again, like, I'm blown away by the production of this because it's so elaborate, really beautiful. Also, some of the cinematography is really interesting as well. Everything is quite dark. But let's take a little bit of a look. So of course we open on this message, which is so powerful. And then we go straight into this shot here. Really extreme close up. Really beautiful. Very dark. As I said, like, the shadows are very dark and the lighting is quite stark. So it's creating all these really harsh lines in his face. Very interesting look. Same here, extreme close up with very shallow depth of field as well. And then we see some of these cuts to the band members, which I love these guys. We open on this battle between these two people. So they're fighting Really just beautiful. Very, very dark lighting. I don't know how much actually they did in terms of lighting here. It looks like a lot of natural lighting because they're pretty dark here. It doesn't look like there's any lights that's pointing towards them, and we get most of the light from the background, which seems to be a bit brighter. So it does feel very natural that way, as if we're actually there in the woods with them, you know? And it doesn't have like a fake lit feel to it. A little bit different here. This is clearly a bit more staged, obviously, because all the guys and their instruments are there. But this works well because they're still in nature, so it makes it feel as if they're there with them. Love some of these shots, and then they continue to write this letter. Can't really read it. I'm sure that, you know, there must be some historical significance to this letter. And then we finally see this guy, and for a second I really thought it was Benicio del Toro. Probably not, though. But he looks a lot like him. But it's the first time I think that we really see him and his face, and it's a really nice reveal. And the costumes throughout with all of the historical parts are so beautiful. Really, really nicely done. Everything's fairly dark, though. That's my only gripe. I sometimes things are too dark. Then again, it does look really natural. He seems to be lit mostly by the window here, which is very pretty. We have a candle in the background here. Yeah, I love how the band too has been set into the environment here. And here we can clearly see in the bokeh here that these are elongated bokeh, like they're not round bokeh. So this is I think it was all shot on anamorphic, which is a very interesting choice because you get certain warping, but it does give it a more cinematic vibe. This is also in a widescreen aspect ratio. So it gives it that more, you know, our brain says, oh, this looks like a movie immediately. And so anamorphic gets used a lot nowadays. I also think that they were running a smoke machine here to give it a lot more atmosphere. And this was shot at a far higher aperture because we see so much more of the background here. It only gets blurry like towards the back. So it must have been quite a bright day because otherwise it's quite hard to get so much light into your camera. But then again, it's like they're pretty dark here too. So again, I don't think that they used a lot of camera lighting. I don't think they used a lot of studio lights in the forest, which you can do because they can run on batteries. So another beautiful close-up here of actually the tattoo ink that he's going to make her Moko with. Really beautiful. Love these shots of his hair, just like Medusa's snakes. Really love that. Always love the movements of dreadlocks. It's amazing. Love this angle, like this shot as well. Again, very, very dark. We barely see his face. We just see his beautiful Moko on his face. And then here in the background, again, you see those elongated bokeh balls here. And clearly shot on anamorphic. So really, really, really beautiful. Another really stunning extreme close-up. And so they're filming this, and now they're staged in a different location in the forest as well. So they have a couple of locations for the band, which is cool. So it gives it a little bit more dynamicism. It takes more time though. So for every setup, you know, it takes time to set up, and it kind of depends on how much time you have with the band. This is so stunning, this beautiful overhead shot, and he's preparing his tools here, I think. And it seems like such a tender moment, which I believe it is culturally. So it's really, really stunning. So I guess these must be the actual Englishmen who are stealing the Moka Mokai from the Maori people. And then we get some beautiful shots of the band as well, where they're just standing and sitting there, sort of almost in judgment, if that makes sense, especially considering it's followed by this scene where they're taking the Moka Mokai. It's quite impressive. And then here's a beautiful shot of the light hitting this figure. I don't know if that's wood or stone from this shot, but I guess it's wood. So this is a little figure, and the sun casts a light right over it. And here you can see so well the effect of an anamorphic lens, where instead of just the round flare, you get a horizontal flare. And here it works really well. It doesn't bother me. Sometimes the anamorphic flare is a little bit overused, but it's very sparing here, despite, you know, most of it being, I think all of it being shot on anamorphic. So anamorphic is just a different type of lens, by the way. And I explain anamorphic lenses quite extensively in one of my other videos, in case you're interested. I'll link it here. And then we have this beautiful shot here, which we finally see a little bit more of the village where these people are living. And I think we see a chief here, and stunning environment. It's really interesting how dark everything is. And then here we have a lot of light. I wonder if it was a limitation of the production, that maybe they didn't have the money, the budget, or the gear to take lights, or if it was a choice to really go for more natural lighting, because that is often, especially in natural historical storytelling, it can be that they choose to go for like little artificial lighting. But it's certainly very beautiful, and it is effective in setting the tone and the atmosphere of it. Okay, so let's continue watching. Oh, wow. Beautiful drone shot. Beautiful. Oh, how touching. That was so beautiful. So now, wow, look at the band and where they are now. This is some like geyser action going on here. This looks like hot springs. So, must have really smelled. If you've ever been in a location like this, it's not a pleasant smell. Love that. We're seeing some of the most beautiful parts of New Zealand again. So then we're introduced to this beautiful lady here, who, I don't know if that's on purpose, but she was really reminding me a lot of that younger Maori woman who's now in New Zealand Parliament and really fighting for the rights of the Maori people. I don't know if it's on purpose, but she reminds me of that younger woman in New Zealand Parliament at the moment. She went viral for performing the haka there. Hana Rafiti might be Clark, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but it's really impressive what the Maori people are doing in New Zealand at the moment. And I've mostly been aware of this because of following Alien Weaponry's bass player, Turanga, and learning more about what's happening over there. So it's so impressive to me. And so it reminded me a little bit of her, to be honest, and this whole and this whole segment of the story. So Really love that she's dressed in red as well. It feels like such a significant color. We only see natural colors in the video so far, and then she reveals this beautiful hat as well. She's wearing this, and this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous visual. I feel like this could be a painting almost, and she sort of exits the natural, realm where her family lives, and then she goes to like this town, which feels much more unnatural, if that makes sense. And this is where she goes to get the Moko Mokai. And also wanted to point out these shots as well. They did the shots with the horse where she is just galloping on the horse real quick, and the drone is following her. And there were some beautiful shots. And then we have some of these closer ups as well. More like medium shots where she's moving on this path. And it's very effective. They basically go from this medium shot following the horse, and then they have the galloping with the drone, and then we see her more close up again in like a medium shot when she's walking into the town. So they didn't have the horse here, but it doesn't even matter that she doesn't have the horse here. It's really convincing, and it works really well. And then she basically sneaks into this house and finds the Moko Mokai, and she takes it back, and she goes back to she runs and she rides back. And those types of shots would have been shot on the same day. So they probably had her racing one way and then the other way to, emulate as if she is like time is passing, right? But they'll shoot this in one day because they probably had the horse for one day. That's just movie magic and how we do that. So it works so well though. And this here, the reveal here was so beautiful, and them basically coming back together with this beautiful heirloom, the Moko Mokai. Then it was interesting because I feel like this then sort of switched to the now. These are what feels like the children of these people that we saw before, and they're dressed in normal modern clothes, and they're performing a haka. And really beautiful. I love the rhythm of it, and it fit the rhythm of the music really well as well. And I felt it was really, really touching. So another beautiful song. Absolutely adored the song as well. It's so well done. And what an exciting band. I love their videos always. They're so thoughtful. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it feels like this should be one of the biggest bands around at the moment. But they don't get quite the same sort of action or, viral nature around them. But they do some of the most thoughtful videos out there. So really, really excited to see this one, and just a joy to follow these guys that were just kids. Like, they're so young. They always make me feel old. But they're doing such a great job, and they're just excellent. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the video, and if I missed anything, let me know. And also, especially in relation to the New Zealand and Maori matters here that they show, I would love to learn more. So if you know more, let me know. And in the meantime, check out my Patreon if you still want to support the channel and me as a filmmaker. You can find a lot more of my own art and videos and stuff I can release to the public on there, as well as short stories in sort of the horror, sci-fi genres. Give me a subscribe if you enjoyed this, if you want to watch more. And please like the video so that it can reach more people. Anyway, that's that for that whole spiel. Yeah, I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.